Max, would you still prefer if we spoke to you outside of this room rather than inside this room?
It's been a long day, yeah.
The 2024 Singapore Grand Prix will be remembered not for its on-track action, but for the dramatic events that unfolded off the circuit. The race marked what was likely Daniel Ricciardo's final Grand Prix, with the driver essentially confirming his impending replacement before the next race weekend. In a provocative move, Ricciardo's last lap fastest lap, which secured a point and took one from Lando Norris, sparked tension with Zak Brown, highlighting the intricate team politics within Formula One. The most significant controversy emerged from FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem's stance on driver language. His inflammatory comments about differentiating motorsport from rap culture quickly escalated into a broader discussion about cultural sensitivity and professional communication. Bin Sulayem was quoted making dismissive remarks about language, suggesting a stark separation between motorsport and what he perceived as rap culture's linguistic norms. Lewis Hamilton immediately called out the potentially racist undertones of the statement, accusing bin Sulayem of using stereotypical language that unfairly targeted rap artists. Max Verstappen and Lando Norris both argued that occasional strong language was a natural response to the intense emotional and physical pressures of competing in a dangerous sport. The situation reached a critical point when Verstappen swore during a televised FIA press conference, referring to his car from the previous race in Baku as F-Ed. Less than 24 hours later, he was summoned to the stewards and, after a brief 13-minute hearing, was issued a punishment that amounted to community service. The FIA's regulations, which emphasize drivers as role models, were used to justify the decision. Verstappen's defense, that the language was ordinary in his non-native English speech, was summarily dismissed by the stewards. This decision quickly became the weekend's central talking point, with drivers and media alike mocking what appeared to be an arbitrary and overreaching enforcement of language rules. The controversy exposed deeper tensions between the FIA and Formula One management FOM. While the FIA claimed to be protecting the sport's image, FOM is responsible for broadcasting the very radio communications and footage that capture such moments. This inconsistency highlighted the complex relationship between the sport's regulatory body and its media management, with bin Sulayem having previously created friction by criticizing FOM's business valuation. As the weekend progressed, the incident transformed from a simple disciplinary action into a significant moment of driver solidarity and institutional critique, raising important questions about professionalism, cultural expression, and the governance of modern motorsport. Max Verstappen's protest against the FIA's punishment became a defining moment of the Singapore Grand Prix weekend. After being issued community service for swearing in a press conference, Verstappen staged a deliberate and calculated response that quickly garnered widespread support from drivers, media, and fans alike. His protest was multifaceted, involving one-word answers during official press conferences, hosting an unofficial press conference in the Red Bull hospitality suite, and making it clear he viewed the punishment as absurd and unjust. The media rallied around Verstappen, with publications like the Italian newspaper Corriere della Porta and the British Guardian offering strong support for his stance. Motorsport.com's Ben Hunt characterized Verstappen's response as the behavior of a maturing world champion, noting that his controlled yet defiant approach represented a significant evolution in his public persona. Other drivers joined the chorus of criticism. Lewis Hamilton dismissed the FIA's position as a joke and even suggested Verstappen escalate his protest by refusing to participate in the mandated community service. Oscar Piastri used humor to mock the situation, making lighthearted jokes about avoiding swearing, while other drivers like Charles Leclerc similarly treated the punishment with bemused derision. Verstappen himself was unequivocal about the potential long-term implications of such regulatory overreach. He candidly stated that these silly things could significantly impact his future in the sport, expressing frustration at being unable to authentically express himself. His message was clear. He was at a stage in his career where he no longer wanted to deal with what he perceived as petty and unnecessary restrictions. The incident revealed a deeper tension within Formula One's governance. Verstappen warned that he would take drastic action if the FIA continued to push what he considered pointless agendas. This was not just about a single instance of strong language, but about the broader issue of driver autonomy and expression. The widespread support for Verstappen suggested a collective driver sentiment that the punishment was disproportionate and misguided. The media's alignment with this view, combined with the drivers' united front, created significant pressure on the FIA to reconsider its approach. What began as a seemingly minor disciplinary action had transformed into a significant moment of resistance, highlighting the complex dynamics between drivers and the sport's governing body. The Grand Prix Drivers Association, GPDA, the collective group representing drivers' interests in Formula One, has announced they will be discussing potential collective action regarding the FIA's recent decision. GPDA Chairman Alex War expressed strong views on the matter, questioning the excessive nature of penalties for swearing. He pointedly asked how many lifetime community service hours Gunther Steiner would have to serve for using the F word, highlighting the apparent inconsistency in the punishment, especially given that Netflix broadcasts such language worldwide without issue. War candidly shared his perspective, stating that while the choice of words might not be to his personal taste, as a driver and GPDA chairman, he believes drivers should be allowed to express themselves authentically, with the caveat that such expression should not be personally offensive or discriminatory. He considers the current penalty too severe and believes drivers have made significant progress in their communication. With Formula One entering a 3-week break before the American leg of the season, there will be ample opportunity for drivers to deliberate and potentially take collective action. Having already voiced their disapproval of the punishment issued to Verstappen, it seems more a matter of when, not if, they will protest the FIA's decision. The article suggests that FIA President Mohammed Ben Salah, who likes to portray himself as a friend and ally to the drivers, will likely fold under collective pressure when faced with unified driver disapproval. The piece concludes by inviting reader engagement, asking for thoughts on the situation and the decision to punish Verstappen.